Just by opening the game, you get useful rewards that become better the more you log in the game. It's also becoming a flex in the game community of how long your login streaks are. Claim every free stuff available in the game, especially if you're a beginner in the game. As a beginner, your resources will be few at the start. So, take advantage of every free stuff available. You can even watch ads to get rewards again. This free stuff usually refreshes every day. You can get rewards even if you're not even participating in a match yet. Completing simple Battle Pass tasks can give you lots of rewards, from silver to gold and more. The tasks are relatively easy to complete. As you complete them, you get stars, used to get Battle Pass experience and, in turn, give rewards as you level up. The Battle Pass can make your grind to top tier easier. Completing seasonal tasks is by far the most rewarding in the game. Completing them gives you war bonds and stars. That gives you even more war bonds that you can use to get tons of resources and even a whole platoon that can make your grind easier because of the similar bonuses of having a premium platoon. Completing events can also give you much-needed resources. They're usually announced before being implemented and is only available for a limited amount of time, and it's a great way to get resources in the game. Participating in leaderboards can also give you resources and even a platoon depending on your standing. It's best to take advantage of the rewards even if it's just a participation reward. You can hold the question mark to view the necessary requirements in a leaderboard. Do not settle for a participation reward though. It's best to stick to 1 or 2 campaigns, especially if you're a beginner. Otherwise, playing them all will get you broke. The tank campaign is usually the best moneymaker and the most efficient, so try partnering it with the others. Adjust your graphics according to your phone's performance. It's best to sacrifice quality for more FPS. You shouldn't force yourself to play for quality, yet with bad FPS. Otherwise, your gameplay will be affected and also the rewards that you get based on your performance. Pick a unique radio messages voice to make your radio message unique, because this is very useful when playing with a friend for easier recognition of when using radio. Adjust your buttons however you like to maximize your performance and efficiency in battles. The more you adjust it to better suit you, the better. Adjust your radio messages according to your preferences to better maximize the efficiency of your communication with your teammates, especially when you need help. Although good at first, vibration can become annoying once you start playing lots of matches. Disabling vibration can also help your battery, especially when playing for hours. Adjust your controls according to your liking to improve your performance in the game, because movement control is the control that you're going to be using most of the time. Adjust your sensitivities to your best ability to maximize your performance in-game, because sensitivities will definitely affect your overall performance, like the movement control. Now, set Track Target to manual so you can efficiently track your targets, because auto will most of the time track the wrong target. Also, manual will give you a button for flexible aiming. Enabling Show Move Direction will help you familiarize yourself with the sensitivity of your tank when controlling it. This will also help you when navigating in a smoke screen when you can't seem to find the front of your vehicle. Also, disable grass and tank sight so no piece of grass can block your sight, especially in hills with grass. You don't want a grass to be a reason why you missed your shot. Now, enable Show Reticle if you want a tank sight for better guidance of your shots. This is especially useful in monitoring your gun's current location when traversing. Disable auto zoom so you can manually zoom your sights, because sometimes auto zooms in and out on the wrong target. Manual slider also lets you zoom more than auto zoom. Display your total score so you won't be focused on kills. And focusing on score leads you to more MVP matches, since it also displays your current team ranking based on your score. Disable crew auto-healing to prevent your tank from auto-healing your crew in a vulnerable position. Otherwise, you'll be cooked. It's better to manually do it. Pick a crew language of your choice to enhance your experience, whether you want your crew to speak German, Japanese, or even croissant. It's especially useful when you're sick of hearing the standard English crew language. Now, keep show touches disabled because in weak devices, show touches can impact your game performance since it monitors and displays all touches you do on your screen. Disable join battles in progress to prevent you from joining battles that have already started, because this can impact your battle performance or overall score, since you'll be going for the scraps of the ones that started the match. Enable show vehicle's name for you to start familiarizing every vehicle in the game, especially if you didn't play tank games before. This allows you to learn tank names and choose your fights or just overall recognition of any tank you encounter. Picking the right platoon is definitely important when you're a beginner in the game, so you won't be buying a platoon and worthy of your silver. I already made a video about it, from the best in the lowest tier to the highest tier platoon. Using booster if you have any is definitely a big help. Whether you're grinding for player level, platoon level, or for silver lions, boosters can help you achieve it faster but a cost of gold, which compared from the past, you get less, and nowadays the snail is feeding it to you. Visit the news section of the game to be updated on the latest changes in the game so you'll never miss out, or you can prepare if any major changes happen or might happen in the future. Just like the tech tree system, battle replays, and armor analyzer coming soon. In battle selection, don't pick the high explosive shells if your gun caliber is not that big. Instead, try choosing an armor-piercing shell with some explosive and relatively good armor piercing. This is a great tip when you're still using Second World War tanks. Now, don't spawn as if you're carrying the whole team's ammunitions, otherwise you will be nuking your teammates. Depending on how frequent you fire, you can adjust how many you carry. 25 is usually a good amount to carry. Also, choose an appropriate camo for the map. You shouldn't make yourself a big target by using an unavoidable camo for the eyes of your enemies. When spawning, pick a spawn point by tapping the tank icons in the map. Try to spawn with a plan in mind, either going for a point capture or flanking enemies. Learn to drive, do not be so careless in managing your speed and slide or crash around the map. Move with the intention of getting to a desired location at best speed. When turning your tank, try to turn when the tank changes gear to second. You can feel the gear change when you accelerate a bit before turning while in first gear is slow. Now, avoid crashing, especially at a high speed. Crashing will either damage your vehicle or, even worse, knock out your crew. It's best to avoid unnecessary damage to your vehicle. Always pay attention to the location of your enemies on the map. Try to move with the intention of preparing for them. Never make your armor appear flat for the enemy to shoot. Position your tank depending on your armor, like positioning this tiger in an angle to hopefully bounce off shells. Pay attention to the shot result in the top left. Use it to learn where to shoot if you made a mistake. Now, go to points that aren't captured yet because most of the time, these points will be the one to decide who wins and who loses. Also, use map commands to let your teammates know. You can also use this to mark locations of your enemies. Pre-aiming before you even see the enemy is crucial to allow yourself to prepare. Use the map POV to pinpoint the location of your enemy, especially when you don't see the name of your enemy yet. Also, familiarize the name of the bots in the game. Bots usually have a generic human name and most of the time recognizable by their crude movements. And in this situation, you should first destroy human players before bots. Because the real threats aren't bots, it's the real players. Now, it's important that you adjust your sight's zoom before peeking to better suit your aim, whether at close range or long range. Depending on the situation, it's also important to wait for your enemies to expose their vulnerable parts before shooting to deliver the most damage. Also, most tanks are not designed to take hits from the sides, so shoot there, especially where the driver is located. And when in cover, use the camera to peek to determine your enemy's intention, like where they're aiming or are they reloading. It's also important to monitor the damage in your tank, and depending on the situation, it's better to repair them or switch crews before engaging. Shooting below the turret is also a way of dealing the most damage. Below the turret in most tanks are where the ammunitions and most of the crew are usually located. Hide your tank from enemies so you can still return after using your planes. Artillery on points is a great way of protecting them from enemy capture. In this way, anyone who tries will have to endure the artillery first. Also, use smokes to better hide your tank's position. You can also use this when repairing or capturing a point. Use bombers to destroy enemies while not risking your valuable tank. Max out your speed to deliver damage as fast as possible. Watch your back to reveal sneaky fighters. They can sometimes spawn at the last moment when the air battle countdown is at 1 second. Use the zoom button and free cam to plan your attack. Recognize the name of lightly armored tanks and other targets. Also, maintain altitude so your bombs will directly explode. So, your enemies won't have time to react and just explode. After that, dive to use the rockets, especially to the lightly armored targets. Most of the time in the game, the one who landed the best shot first wins. So keep improving your aim and knowledge of tank weak spots. Now, tank gunners are usually located near the gun, so shoot there to disable them from firing. But be careful, in some modern tanks, the commander can control the gun to fire, even when the tank's gunner is disabled. Most of the time, tanks with bulges in the back of their turret have ammunition stored there, so try shooting there for an explosive kill. Also, don't carry 70 shells, this is just for demonstration. Also, shoot aircrafts using your machine guns to gain additional scores. And you can do this by aiming, then shooting at the white circle. This white circle appears when you aim at the plane. Using artillery on campers is a great way of punishing them from camping. This also makes them move out of their positions. And most of the time, the best artillery targets are the stationary targets. Also, shooting exposed launchers, like this missile launcher, can also trigger ammunition explosion if they aren't empty yet, otherwise it will be instead disabled. Also, it's best to avoid artillery strikes, especially when using lightly armored tanks or tanks equipped with exposed launchers, like this Calliope with its rocket launcher at the top. When available, use fighters to protect your team from getting destroyed by bombers, otherwise this can turn the tide of battles against you. Then, after spawning, locate the enemy bomber and use the lock-in button to never let it go out of your sights. Also, when chasing bombers, especially when you spawn far away from it, instead of following them directly, fly to the location of your allies and when the bomber is close enough to you. that's the time to switch your direction to the bombers and attack. After locking your sights and getting close enough to the bomber, shoot at the white circle with all your might to destroy the enemy bomber. Depending on the plane, some planes have fewer ammunitions than others, so try to make your shots count. Also, control your airspeed far enough to make necessary maneuvers when the target moves and close enough to deal the most damage. Otherwise, you'll crash into the bomber or risk overshooting. Also, it's important to pick the movement control, which gives you the best experience to enhance your performance. Also, enable additional controls to have more control of your aircraft and not be limited by swiping. Also, adjust your sensitivities to your best ability to enhance your experience and overall performance in the game, because the more you adjust it according to your preferences, the better. Also, enable following selected target to never let the enemy out of your grasp. This lets your plane move in such a way that it follows the target for you to aim and destroy. Disable quit zoom after kill because sometimes multiple targets can appear for you to target, and it's best to leave it or adjust your zoom manually, then zooming again kill after kill. Also, pick a crosshair type depending on your preferences to better enhance your aiming and overall shooting performance, especially when the default crosshair is not your style. Now, back to tanks, it's best to avoid hills. Especially when your tank has terrible gun depression, it's best not to let enemies exploit your weakness, otherwise risk destruction. Also, avoid situations when you have to fight multiple tanks instead of one, especially if you have a long reloading time, otherwise you risk losing your tank. In tight situations, shooting without zoom is sometimes needed, so it's best to practice and familiarize yourself while you're playing. When in a difficult situation and the driver is hit but the engine is online, it's best to let the crew swap and escape for cover. And when in cover, that's the time to fully repair and heal your crew. Also, don't be cruel, try to help your teammates, but don't risk your tank and be blinded by charity when doing so. Otherwise, you risk destruction because it's better to lose one tank than two tanks in your team. Also, be mindful when using your artillery strikes on enemies. The farther you are from your target, the less accurate your strikes are, so it's best to close the distance if you want your strikes to be accurate. Also, don't wait till your plane crashes to the ground if you ever got intercepted. Leave the vehicle as fast as possible to not waste precious time. Also, crash immediately if you don't have a mission that is about not crashing your plane. But don't tap the leave vehicle to not credit your enemies. Also, when in air, bomb the enemy plane's tank, remember the name, and then locate the tank. He won't be able to control it to escape, since he is busy using his plane. Also, you can use the tow cable to help your teammates whenever they're stuck. But you can only tow them when they also tap the tow cable button. Also, you can use your machine gun to clear obstacles, especially if you're using a high explosive shell. Obstacles can trigger and block the shell instead of arriving to your target. Now, depending on the caliber, you can use machine guns to damage and destroy crucial tank parts of your enemies, like guns and tracks, or even pierce thin armors. Now, it's important that you don't use machine guns to attract enemy attention, like shooting thick armors, before your main gun aims or fires. You should only use it when necessary. Now, in captured points, you can replenish your ammunitions, both the main gun and the machine guns, when you stay in points. This is useful when you're running out of ammunitions that you carried when you spawned. Now, when gaining upgrade points, use the points to upgrades that will get you more points. Like the rate of fire, for example. The more you shoot and destroy, the more experience you get, and in turn, level up faster. And when you level up, you get access to more arsenal equipments. You can use it to improve your overall performance, like in artillery support, machine guns, and smokes, but at a cost of Silver Lion. In naval, shooting under the turrets is the most effective way of damaging and destroying ships, since under the turrets are the storage of ammunitions. In aviation, use presets to switch your planes easily. You can adjust them by yourself to suit your needs. In this way, you can spend more time playing than switching planes every match.